Hi there, and welcome to the whitchermath channel. And just 10 minutes ago, I had a question come up in class, and I'm on my lunch now, so I've got a couple minutes. And I thought, wow, if someone asked it during class, I bet other people out there might think the same thing. And I don't want you thinking this, because it's wrong. So in class today, we had this irregular shape here, this kind of L-shaped thing. And we found the total area, by breaking it up into smaller rectangles and all that. And we came up with the answer, which we all agreed upon, was 600 square centimeters, okay, because we're finding area. And then I had a student come up to me and say, hey, that's the same as 6 square meters, right? Because 600 divided by 100 is 6, right? And there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So it makes sense, doesn't it? But the thing is, no, that's far from it. That is not right. And if you think about how long a meter is, which I can't even fit on this screen, and we made squares out of 6 of them, you could tell that's not going to be the same as this, which fits on the screen. So let's explain why. Okay, here's one that we'll work on together here. And, okay, let's go ahead and find the area. We'll find the area together because the point of this is how are we going to convert this thing? Okay, first of all, I'm just going to break this into 2 small shapes. This one's going to be 6 times 8, right? There's my 8, there's my 6. So I get 48 there. And this, since this whole thing is 14, and this is 8, this is 14 minus 8, which is 6. So this will be 12 times 6, the 2 dimensions, right? Those are my subproblems. I'm going to add those together. And hopefully you follow me on that. So there's our total area. But then let's convert it to square meters. Well, how many centimeters are in a square meter? That's the key question. How many square centimeters are in a square meter? Well, while it's true, if we go back to our original question, there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So if I was making a sketch here of a square meter, one side of it definitely has 100 centimeters. But because the little 2 tells us, hey, there's 2 measurements there. There's 100 centimeters on both sides. And when I multiply 100 times 100, I get 10,000 square centimeters are in 1 square meter. So the centimeter to meter conversion only happens in 1 dimension on a straight line. Once you go to 2 dimensions, you've got to multiply both measurements, and the same thing works for volume with 3 dimensions. So the way we're going to convert this then, so we roll down the page, is we take our total number and we're not going to divide it by 100, but we're going to divide it by 100 times 100, or 10,000, okay, which is going to give us 12 thousandths of a square meter, which makes more sense, right? Okay, so the trick is, if you want to convert to a unit, first you got to find how many current square units, right? In this case, we found how many current square centimeters fit into the desired unit. And then, once you find that, then convert using that number, just like we did. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's take this same problem, but let's say this was 120 square inches. How would we convert this to feet? To square feet? Well, in 1 square foot, there's 12 inches in a foot, but it's a square, right? So that would make 144 is going to be my conversion factor here. So I would take my 120 inches squared, and I would keep the same units. There's my conversion, because this equals 1 foot squared. So I'm really dividing by 1 foot squared, but I've got it converted into the same units that I was using previously. So what this is going to end me up with is a little bit less than 1 square foot. Hey, let's take it one step further. Let's say convert to square yards. Okay. How many square inches in 1 square yard? Well, there's 36 inches in a yard. 36 times 36 is 1,296 square inches in a square yard. So if I was going to convert this, my answer, to square yards, I divide by the same units that fit into my desired unit, which is my square yards, right? Because this equals 1 yard squared. So let's do that. 120 divided by 1296, and it's not much. Okay, that's rounding off. All right, so hopefully this whole idea of converting two-dimensional area into different units makes a little more sense now. And stay tuned for more. I'm sure we'll be talking volume soon. Thanks for watching the Whitcher Math channel. I really appreciate it. Tell all your friends and teachers. Thanks. Bye.